What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Real Estate Virgins, the podcast where we are trying to provide massive value to real estate agents that are out there who want to take their business to the next level. My name is Jordan Brown, local realtor here in the Austin area, and I am joined with my co-host, Mr. Superstar, Mr. November, top producer himself, John Michael Perez. How we doing, buddy? And the crowd goes wild.
Thank you.
Everyone, keep it down. Keep it down, please. We have a podcast to record. Thank you.
Thank you. Nah,
Congratulations, man. That's huge. When most agents' business is winding down for the year, you put the foot on the gas and you knocked it out of the park. Tell us about your November. What's new in your life? How you doing?
Well, the reason why I had such a good November is because I was working my ass off in October.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy how those two things go together, right?
Right. And so, November we had a bunch of closings. And not only me, though, like our team, we had several closings, which was really cool.
Yeah, team's killing it right now.
Yeah. I sent out that list, and man, we've got a lot of closings this year.
It was great to kind of look back on the year that we've had and the progress that we've made, the steps everyone's taken in their careers. We're in a really good spot right now, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah, and next year I want to double it. I genuinely want to double it.
Yeah, we will absolutely get into our 2023 goals. We're also going to again kind of take a look back on 2022 and decide, what our lessons were, like, our biggest accomplishments, things like that. So really excited for that. Before we get into all the real estate talk, man, what's new? I've been watching a lot of TV lately.
Dude, you suggested for me to go watch White Lotus last night.
What'd you think?
No, not last night. You didn't suggest it last, but I watched it last night, and it was really good.
What season are you on?
I'm just like on episode 4.
Okay, so season 1 is actually my least favorite of the two.
Interesting.
Season 2 is crazy. I love it. So new TV. Well, I say new TV show. It's only got 2 seasons. Season 2 is about to wrap up on Sunday. White Lotus on HBO. No free ads, but yeah, pretty awesome. Good show. What is there anything else that you're watching?
My wife is like binging Survivor right now.
I love Survivor. I love Survivor so much. And I've told John that I think it would be really cool to see him apply and be on Survivor. I feel like you would, because they get like so close because you're on an island, like you're playing this game together. You'd be selling real estate all over America to all these clients.
In Fiji.
This lovely, no bedroom, no bath.
Yeah. But no, I feel like I do really good on Survivor. I'm not gonna lie, and I've been wanting to make an audition video for a while.
I couldn't do it. No. I like food too much, man. They give you like little portions of rice, and you got to go like collect fish and skin them and all that, and fry it yourself. And that's just not what I'm here for right now. Like I need a Chipotle to be able to roll up and in the Chipotle lane.
I will say though, I get pretty tired if I'm not eating.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's real funny that you're watching it, and I'll be there, and I'm like, man, these guys suck. And they're like 26 days in on like no food, no sleep, like, and I'm sitting in my bed or on my couch judging these guys. So
I like your shoes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
show them to the crowd. They have like.
They're Ultra Boost. They're kind of Adidas is under a little bit of heat right now.
Really?
There's a lot of companies under heat.
Why is that?
I won't go too much into it. They had some kind of fallout with Kanye.
Oh.
I'm not versed enough in it to really give a detailed explanation as to what that is. All I know is like I personally don't care what companies do, like what their founders donate to or stuff, like within reason, right?
Yeah.
But like if I don't know, you remember Chick-fil-A like 2012? Everyone was like trying to cancel Chick-fil-A. Bro, it's a chicken sandwich. Calm down. Like I don't know. Like the whole thing with that was like they were donating to like anti-LGBTQ plus groups or something. I'm like, bro, my brother is gay. Like he is married to a man and loves Chick-fil-A. Relax. It's okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like Ultra Boosts are in trouble for something. I saw a TikTok that said there's like all these places getting canceled in Austin, like Summer Moon. for something. I'm sorry. When I go, I don't go somewhere because
I didn't know they got canceled.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's just a coffee. Like, to me, it's just a coffee place. I'm not putting a political agenda on my food and my drink.
You want to know my opinion about that? Is if you have enough time to be hating on something that you're not even involved with, you're probably not doing enough in your life.
You need something better to focus that energy on,
right?
For sure. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, people with idle minds is the devil's playground.
Yep.
So
exactly. It's like all these people are complaining about things. I'm like, are you doing anything positive in the world? And maybe that's what they think they're doing. By canceling.
Well, I don't think anything productive comes from that kind of mentality. I don't know. It's like, unless you're like providing a solution, you're really just like, you're just creating noise.
You're just complaining.
You're just on the internet with nothing better to do, just typing stuff up.
Yeah.
Funny enough, so we talked about 75 Hard last podcast.
Yeah.
And it's funny that part of the reason I got into 75 Hard was because of this podcast. Because I'm having to clip videos and I'm looking at myself and things like that. I know I had a little double chin action going on. I was getting a little plump, right? And I had a guy on the internet comment on a clip, and I thought he was trying to be rude. And he said, "You look like you're 200 kilograms, which is 440 pounds." And I was like, "Oh, that sucks." Like, it sucks that that's like the...
Wow.
And so I was really angry because I couldn't tell, again, if he was trying to be like rude or whatever.
I don't think there's any other way you can take that.
Right. So initially I was like, man, I'm about to like, I don't know. I won't lie. I like went to his profile and was like trying to dig up some dirt. And I was like, that's not productive.
Yeah.
So I stopped.
Yeah.
I responded like with a kinder message. And he actually wrote back and said like, and I noticed he was from Poland, so I don't know if like the English is broken or something like that, but he said you should consider getting healthier so you can make great content longer. And I was like, exactly. That was my face. I was like, that was like the most backhanded compliment I've ever received. So anyway, yeah, it's just funny that the podcast has me, doing 75 Hard, trying to benefit my health a little better. And I feel great, man. We're 23 days into this.
Actually, today's day 24.
24, yeah, day 24. It's been such a nice like reset for my body, for my mind, and having like a purpose for the day. If nothing else, I know that I'm going to take care of my health today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it feels good to put that forward. We're down a few pounds. I know you and I we message each other about our wins, with that. So just between that and the mental clarity and like focus that I feel like I'm feeling great. So shout out to the guy that was really mean to me on YouTube.
A little motivation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything else going on in your life?
Yeah. So this is the first year that I'm going to be doing taxes completely solo as an agent without having any other job or anything like that. So
is that why you couldn't sleep last night?
Dude, my mind races. And with just random thoughts. I'm thinking about our Christmas party next week. I'm thinking about movers and shakers tomorrow. I'm worried about like how I'm gonna fit things into my schedule. Like today, like I've got a pretty intense schedule today. How am I gonna get my 2 workouts in? Things like that just randomly attack my mind at night, it seems. But yeah,
let's stop. That's actually a big blessing though, is that you have a lot going on. Because in reality, I remember a year and a half, 2 years ago, you were thinking, how am I going to get my next deal? Or what am I going to do?
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's a huge blessing. And the thing is, pick your hard, right? It's like, it's going to be hard not to have any clients.
Not to have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also just as stressful as like the things that you have going on.
Exactly.
So you're right. I know that I won't go into too much detail, but there is a possible major change in my life in 2023, in me and Katie's life, that has us looking for insurance. And can we just...
I wonder what that
is. And I haven't had insurance for a long time because, AT&T's part-time insurance was $1,100 per month. Absolutely insane. But we just got insurance. Can we talk about how
insurance is a scam?
Absolutely. It's the worst. Think about how many things you pay insurance on. Life insurance.
And then they make you pay a deductible, and then they make you pay.
Oh, well, that's out of network. What?
like-
Like, what are we talking about here? You got car insurance, health insurance, life insurance, phone insurance, pet insurance. Like, holy crap. It's like all your potential income can go to insurance. So insurance ain't out there. You know, the agents for insurance are eating good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's get into real estate.
Absolutely. So, you know, let's recap 2022. Did you hit your goals? Is there anything that you didn't achieve this year? I know personally, I've 4.5 times my business year over year.
That's insane.
I surpassed my goal. Super stoked on that. And aside from just my personal, you know, monetary goals or my volume goals, I helped a lot of friends and family get into a house, which was a dream of theirs.
Yeah.
Helping make a dream a reality for people that I care about was huge. It's why we do what we do, and the feeling you get from that is worth its weight in gold. So, what about you? Talk about 2022.
2022. I did not hit my goals, but the thing is that I set them so unrealistically high that what I did do is awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
You make scary goals
I make crazy big goals
that make you, like, even you as a big thinker, you sit there and go, how the heck am I going to do this?
Yeah, yeah. So for me, I'm just, you know, super thankful for, you know, all the people that have worked with me this year, and all the relationships that we've built over this past year alone. And all the growth too, like a ton of growth, and yeah, I'm really thankful for my 22, honestly.
Yeah, what would you say is your biggest lesson from 2022?
My biggest lesson from 2022 would be to eliminate distractions as much as possible, because I've noticed that things like, you know, HBO, White Lotus, and Netflix, and you know, side gigs or whatever can really start taking a hold of what my main income is, which is real estate,
Poker.
Especially poker. I play a lot of poker,
But you're good at it.
I am, but it's so mentally draining, you know, and so we all have only a certain amount of units of capacity when it comes to how much we can do, and you know, mentally, and
Until Elon comes in and plants that little chip in your brain, and all of a sudden your capacity expands.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, just distractions, man. What about you?
I would say for 2022, my biggest lesson. This is a hard one because it's kind of off the dome, and like reflecting back, I would say, I don't know. I might have to come back to that one. It's kind of tough on the spot. I don't know if it's between personal or business. I think for business, for me, I harp on this all the time. It's just like doers are gonna do, and pretenders are gonna pretend. I had like almost imposter syndrome sometimes, where it's like, I don't know if like I should be having the business that I do.
Yeah.
But then I look back and I go, you know what? I actually killed my follow-up game.
Yeah.
I killed, you know, staying in contact with people and asking for business, or just doing the right steps. So like, I need to accept that I did the right thing. And there's people out there who don't do any real estate building activities or like lead generation activities, and then wonder why they don't have business.
There's so many people out there like that.
So I think that's the big thing, is like, if I want to be successful, I need to do things that make you successful. It sounds like it's very redundant, but if you're not taking daily steps, if I'm chilling on my couch for 3 days a week, I can't be mad that I'm wasting almost half the available time that I have, and that my business is suffering. Whereas if I'm utilizing all that time, my business should be doing good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've talked about this several times, but people don't take their business as a business. They take it as a hobby. And so you're going to get hobby results if you only take it as a hobby, And so
yeah, last pod we talked about being able to go, full time if you can, because it pushes your back against the wall.
Yep.
And forces you to take massive action, whereas normally you'd fall back and rely on that guaranteed income of another job or something of that sort.
Yeah, just the importance of going all in is just so important because, like we said in the last podcast, it puts your back against the wall and then you have no other option but to succeed. So, yeah.
So last reflection on 2022.
Okay.
What was your biggest win of 2022? Not lesson, but like your actual win, whether it was business or personal.
I actually bought my dream house.
Yeah, you did. Beautiful house. Thing is insane.
Yeah. And it's just cool to look back and remember that I didn't go to college. I grew up on welfare. I lived in a 2-bedroom trailer. I did not have any mentors when I was young. Now I have mentors. So just the drastic change of and the possibilities of being able to purchase a house like that. Not rent, purchase a house like that. I'm just full of gratitude for.
Round of applause, everybody. Round of applause. We got the studio audience here with us today. We're gonna have to add some like clapping in the background of that clip. My biggest win for 2022 was I had my first almost $1 million listing.
Oh yeah, that
which was super sick.
It was like 905, right?
Yeah, 905 is what we closed for, and that was right before the turn of the market. I'm talking.
So lucky.
We were this close to that not being over 900.
Can we share the mistake you made?
Oh God, I hope she.
I don't think nobody's watching this.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? It was one of my first listings, so it's not like I had a ton of experience, and this was also like a huge learning opportunity for me. So I get this listing, I absolutely kill the appointment, and this lead came from Facebook, a Facebook group. So I am good friends with the person who runs my community page, in Leander, our little neighborhood, not so little neighborhood. And she saw in a different group that someone needed a realtor. And because I have that relationship with her, also I'm listing her house next week. She recommended me to this person, and she sent me the screenshot of the person saying, "Hey, I need a realtor in the Leander area." And immediately, talked about last pod, I messaged her and I said, "Here's my number. Let's talk." Because
are you hearing a beeping noise? I'm hearing a beeping noise.
like a slight.
What is that?
Is that you have a watch on her?
No. Do you have a watch?
Yeah, but it's not beeping.
Weird.
Okay.
Okay.
No worries. So listing, Facebook group, got the information, got the lead from there, kill the listing presentation. And so I go to type in the MLS information. We're going live, and we have a, open house is its own separate form in the MLS. Like you have to fill out open house information. And I thought I did, man. I really did. And I remember like typing out 11 to 2 on Saturday, 1 to 3 on Sunday, save, right?
Yeah.
Well, save doesn't do it. You got to publish it. And so there was no open house information. And I remember her messaging me and saying, "Hey, Zillow is not showing the open houses is this weekend." And I was like, "Oh, and this is true. Like it takes a little while for things to update, right?"
Yeah.
Well, I didn't double check, and there was no open house information on the MLS.
So he went to the open house, and
No one shows up.
no one shows up.
And I'm like, uh-oh, this is bad. Like, who knows what's going to happen with the market? Is it going to turn? And we got so lucky because the right buyer somehow saw it and just decided to go look at it and made an offer over asking price. And I was able to negotiate that, right? Because they were going to lowball us. And I used our leverage. I said, look, this is a fantastic property. You're not going to find acreage in this area where the 183s meet. North Line's going up right here. I have a very positive outlook on what this property is going to be. They revised their offer way over asking price.
Yep.
And we got it done.
I remember because they sent in an offer that was below asking price, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were going to do $100K under asking. We sold it for $105 over asking.
Is that true? I thought you listed it at $850.
Oh, sorry. Yes, 55 over or 50 over then.
Yeah.
So anyway, a big swing there as far as what could have happened versus what did, and they were our only person who was going to make an offer too.
Yeah, they did.
So we got very lucky on that one, but again, it's taking it comes from experience. Now, because of that, I've never made that mistake ever again.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's the thing is sometimes you got to go through stuff like that to never make that mistake again.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely, everything's a learning lesson. So thankful for it, and everyone's happy. Everyone got what they wanted out of the transaction, and that's all that matters.
Yep. So things are changing right now in the market. There's a lot of fear and rumors going around. So do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. We are not ignorant to caution, right? We'd be dumb to say things are still super great. Like there's all this stuff out there we've talked about before: inflation, possibility of war, unemployment. Like there's all these factors that are weighing in on people's minds on whether they're going to buy, sell, rent. Realtors are, sometimes panicking. You'll see that online. People are talking about their business not doing as well. But man, I think that's just because you haven't. There's a lot of new agents who haven't experienced a down market.
Yeah,
and I think it presents a very unique opportunity for those who are going to weather the storm.
Well, it's funny because when I started real estate 6 years ago, this is what the market was like. This exact market was like 6 years ago. And so it's normalizing.
The 90 to 120 days on market was normal.
Yeah, exactly. So now we just have to actually put more work in. And so all these agents are coming in thinking it's easy money. And it's like, no, you actually have to work.
Well, because listings have been for the last, since, it hasn't been since like March or April of this year. But before then, for 2 years, it was you threw a sign up, boom, sold. You didn't really have to do anything. Now it's like, no, you actually have to market. You have to reach out to other agents, ask if they have buyers for this property. You have to push ads on Facebook or whatever your methods are. You have to actually do that now.
Yeah, we have a flip property that we switched over to Airbnb. We got it furnished, and now I just listed it yesterday just to see if we could get a buyer because interest rates just dipped, and I've been seeing a lot more buyers become active again, which is interesting. So that's why we relisted that property, just to see if we get a bite. If not, and we got our first booking on
we did
on that same property for Airbnb. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be interesting. We're in this weird middle where if we sell it, we'll sell it, but if we don't, let's still book out the property as much as possible so that we can get income for the month.
Yeah, and I wish I had, my goal is, and you and I have talked about this, is my goal is to buy at least one property every year.
Yep.
And man, I cannot wait until we buy our next property because right now we have a lot of capital tied up into the two that we do have. But man, it's like a fire sale right now.
Yeah.
Like while everyone else is freaking out, I'm seeing opportunity. I'm seeing options that weren't there when we bought.
Yep.
Because we were in the mix. Like I've always said, I put my money where my mouth is. I was investing money when people were worried that we were at the tip top or whatever the case may be. And right now, if you're an investor, this is prime pickings.
It's fire sale right now.
Yeah, and it won't be that way forever.
It will not.
Just like people were worried about the housing market, never coming down from that high. Right now, it's not going to continue to go low. It happens like this. Stop looking at the micro, month to month happenings, and look out. Property increases in value over time. That's a fact. So the longer you hold on to something, the more likely you're going to come out on the good side of it. So to be an investor right now in the Austin area, I'm still very bullish on it.
Yeah, and when we were purchasing properties, we were not purchasing them above asking price or getting even at asking price.
Oh, we got a heck of a deal
Yeah,
on.
so every deal we got was substantially below value, and then we added value as well by painting cabinets, new floors, new paint. We did Miracle Method on the countertops to make it look nicer. And so when the market did dip, oh no, we're not at 400K anymore, but we bought it at 300. Now we're at 360. Like, we're still up,
Yeah.
you know? So
And you only lose if you. It's just like stocks.
Exactly.
Like I feel like the pandemic created a bunch of what I call like Robin Hood investors.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Robin Hood was this like everyone was bored. Everyone got dabbled a little bit in crypto and stock exchanges. If you got laid off or if you had downtime at work. I know we did. At my crew at the domain at AT&T. We were all in it. Like we were all about like stocks and all that and trying to do swing trades.
It's interesting though, because I feel like a lot of people right now have excess cash, but there was a new statistic that came out that said we have the most credit card debt we've ever had in the world, right? So that's telling me that people are wanting to save their cash to use it when they need it, and they're using credit to buy the things that they normally pay with cash.
Dave Ramsey's pissed.
Oh, he's pissed right now.
If he heard that, he's shaking.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no worries. So, yeah, I think that this Robin Hood investor mentality where like panic sell happens or, do you ever like sell a stock right before it took off? That's where I feel like we're at right now with real estate.
You did that with Mara, right?
Oh my God. But here's the thing. I made $8,000 off of that.
Oh, really?
So I was still happy with it, but I could have made 40. So that was the big missed opportunity there. But yeah, it did this. It went up. It went up to $8 and I sold and I was so happy because it went back down to 4 and then shot up to 44.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
But
But nonetheless, like I feel like, people are going to regret maybe not buying it at this time. I think if we look back on this 5 years from now, people are going to go, man, that would have been the prime opportunity to buy.
Somebody's paying for a mortgage, whether it be your landlord or you, right?
Yeah,
So,
you're going to pay for a mortgage, your own or someone else's.
Exactly.
You got to have somewhere to live.
Yeah. So
People buy and sell every single day.
So I would rather be putting that money in my own pocket. And so many of my friends that listen to me the last couple of years are not regretting their purchase because now they can sell their house, make even if they made 40, 50 grand, that covers the entire 2 years that they've lived at their house.
Right.
So they get all their money back. Like
Sounds like a great deal.
like, how is that, how is that even that's a no-brainer. So, yeah.
I remember a couple of years ago, I was talking with a few fellow realtors about BlackRock. You know who BlackRock is, right?
Yeah.
They're a real estate investment firm, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they're not just a real estate investment firm. They invest in a lot of things.
Okay.
But
real estate was what they went real heavy on,
yeah.
like 2020 or so. And I remember seeing a article come out, and I was discussing it with them, and they weren't interested at all. But what that article said was BlackRock is going to go so heavy on buying real estate that, the commentary on this article was they're trying to create a generation of forever renters, meaning they're going to buy so much property that you're going to wind up renting one of their properties.
Because you can't afford anymore. Because prices have risen.
Correct.
Much.
So BlackRock has resurfaced into the headlines. I saw a few other realtors sharing some information. Can you kind of tell people more about what's going on with them right now?
Yeah. So they stopped allowing people to take their money out of their investments. So, yeah, which is interesting. My thing is that I wouldn't be worried immediately, but over the next year or two, I definitely would be, because if they start selling their assets, then then that's going to be worrisome, right? Because now they're trying to sell their assets to recoup, and then also so that they can pay out their investors.
And are they doing this because they're like kind of going back to the Robin Hood mentality? Are they panicking because there's not that immediate burst in the property values that they purchased?
Well, just like everyone else, interest rates rose, right? And so
I think what I saw was their interest rate has risen, or like they had like a certain term on these properties, and now it's going to go to market value, and it's going to increase the amount of interest that they're paying. I could have just completely made that up. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, though.
Interesting. Well, here's the thing: is it still takes time to sell property, right? So whether it be when they make that decision, it's still going to be another few months, 5 months, 6 months, if not a year and a half, that we'll even see any type of big impact. But at the same time, I did see someone else say that although they do have a lot of investments, as compared to the entire picture of the United States, it's really only like 2 to 3%.
Okay, something to keep an eye on.
But they might be wrong. Don't count. Don't put me on that.
Yeah, we're not like pulling out sources or anything for this. We're just trying to bring the discussion about.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of companies doing that right now. Like all these iBuyer programs.
They're gone actually though.
They seem to be taking a huge L right now.
Yeah.
I know that a ton of open door properties are just absolutely pennies on the dollar right now. Maybe not pennies, but like half of what they thought it was going to be.
They priced their houses too high, man. Like from the beginning. And so now they're just slowly price dropping and finally getting to where they should have priced them at the beginning.
Right. And now it's at over 100 days on market, and it's just now getting to where it should have been.
Yep.
So let that be a lesson to sellers. I mean,
and listing agents. Do not overprice your property and get ahead of the curve, because if you don't, then your house is just going to sit.
Mm-hmm. If you're a buyer's agent, also, like if you're a not dual agent, that's a bad word, but if you're an agent who helps buyers and sellers, and you know that your buyers are winning right now, why aren't you telling your listings to price above market value?
Exactly.
It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
You just gotta have a strategy with it.
Yeah.
So for buyers agents, newer agents who may not understand the lingo or like what exactly they're getting their clients into, what is a mortgage? Like, what are you signing up for when you are buying a house?
PITI. That's the acronym. Yeah. And so that stands for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And so you're paying a mortgage. Your monthly payment is made up of those four things: principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And so a majority of it is going to the principal, but a big chunk of it is going towards taxes
and interest.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, taxes and interest. So
taxes, especially if you're here in the area.
Yeah,
like some of the taxes here are pretty crazy.
Our property taxes here in Texas are higher than most, but we don't have a state tax.
Right. So that's how the counties get their money.
Exactly.
And that's how like it funds things like your local schools and things like that. So it's going to a good cause. But
did you know that most of the money they use, how to say this, most of the money that they get from property taxes actually goes towards schools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And so I don't have a kid right now, but if in 20 years I'll be thankful that those property tax dollars were going to that, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know like it's a one time, you're making a monthly payment that covers all these different things. When you pay rent, I don't know about you, but when I was paying rent, I just thought of it as it's just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Your mortgage payment is oftentimes more than what you were paying in rent. Buying a house is not cheaper than renting. Like it's just not. In 90+% of cases, I would say.
Yeah, but let me say something. Over the years, it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Because just like the example that we thought about when we were in the car, where, and we've talked about this already, but I think you've been in your house for 4 years now.
It'll be 5 in February.
5 years, and you've got a 2,000 square foot house,
2,200 square foot house, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and 2-car garage.
Yeah, and your mortgage is like $1,650, and those houses are renting now for maybe $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that apartment I was in before, which was 640 square feet, 1 bed, 1 bath on the 3rd floor, no garage, no nothing. Guess what that was going for?
1,000.
Last time so that's around what it was when 5 years ago when we had moved out. We had renewed our lease for $940, per month, and that was 5 years ago. And the most recent check that I did was $1,500.
Wow.
So for $150 more per month, I own my property. And again, like to your point,
but you have a 2,200 square foot house.
The longer you hold on to it, the more likely it is you're going to come out on the better side.
Yeah.
All sides. I have equity in my house now. I have, my houses were double what we bought it for. Best thing I ever did. We did. Sorry, Katie.
Also, that was the first house I ever sold.
That's right.
It was his house.
Yeah. And we walked in and we just knew it because we looked at 12 houses. And
we didn't look at that many, did we?
We looked at 12.
Really?
Yeah. And because it was only a couple of days. We knocked out 4 a day. And
you were my guinea pig. I'm not going to lie.
You know what? I'm so thankful for the guinea pigs in my life because I know that my first few clients, I'm so sorry. They probably asked me something. I was like, let me get back to you on that.
I feel like I asked you to sign the same contract 1 million times.
It happens. Yeah. It happens. And now look at you.
Yeah, which is funny. And now it's more, quick. I can literally get an offer written up in 10 minutes.
Yeah. That's how it goes, though. But nonetheless, man, home ownership is just such an amazing thing. You may be sticker shocked. I remember when we went from $940 a month to $1,600 a month. Actually, no, we went from $940 to it was $1,950 at first, and then I refinanced once the rates got lower, and I was able to drop off the PMI payment,
nice.
Which is private mortgage insurance, and so that saved me between the decreased interest rate and the lack of PMI. I was able to save about $300 per month on my monthly payment, and I got a refund check of $7,000.
Wow.
Win-win to me.
Heck yeah. And that's the thing is so many people get that sticker shock when they first purchase a property, but you've got to think about the long term. We're living in a microwave society where you want things now and you want things cheap and you're not caring about quality. But if you think about it in a 5-year perspective, and yes, you might be paying more than what you're renting right now, but in 5 years, that same property is going to be so much more.
Yeah, my buyer clients are winning. And part of that is having a really solid lender team. And I got to shout out Aaron and Grace over at the Bowerstock team.
Bowerstock?
Yeah, Bowerstock team. They have been crucial for my clients. I know that they've saved deals for me. And having someone who will fight for your clients is not common. There's a lot of people out there who want your business and want your money and then give you subpar service, or it's just your regular run-of-the-mill experience. Grace and Aaron absolutely kill it and make my clients feel like a priority. I've never called them and not felt like I was their only client.
Yeah.
And I know that they do so much business. So it's incredible that, I feel that way. And they've never once been like, hey, Jordan, I've got 10 other important things going on. I'll get to it eventually. It's always a top priority for them.
I've had lenders talk like that. Hey, man, I just need an answer. I'm sorry, I'm busy. Or it takes them so long to get back to us. But why I love working with Grace and Aaron is that they get back to us. They care about us. They make us feel like we're special. And and not only that, but they give our clients a great experience, and that in itself is worth more than gold.
It's the total package because we're doing our best to provide that grade A service. And it's scary when other people are involved, right? You got title, you got your lender, you got the sellers, and you can't control those, right?
Yeah.
So the more things that they have really positive experiences in, it's just a win all around.
Yeah, and another quick tip is when you are purchasing a property, I highly suggest that you use a local lender because they're going to know your market way better, as well as sometimes when it comes to appraisal issues, they can get that figured out. And then also use a lender that has an in-house underwriting, right? Because sometimes lenders, they outsource their underwriting, and there's so many delays, there's so many repeated questions, like we're going through that right
Gosh, so annoying.
Yeah, and so it's just so important. And we're going. And side note, we're going through that right now with another property, and it's not with Aaron and Grace.
No, not at all.
But it's just so important to have in-house underwriting.
If it was with them, we'd be done 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So we're kind of focusing right now on home buyers. So what would you say are some tips or pro tips for first-time home buyers? Things that maybe they don't know right now or that they're going to uncover as they purchase their first home.
Yeah, so the market is different. And now I wouldn't be afraid to ask for under asking price because it's happening. Sellers are willing to sell under asking price now as compared to 8 months, 12 months ago. So that, as well as don't be afraid to ask for closing costs, and then always get a home warranty and ask the seller to pay for that home warranty.
Because things will go wrong. That's the thing is you can lipstick it and get through inspection and stuff like that. But man, you're not gonna, in most cases, you're not gonna have every single thing that could go wrong be addressed.
Yeah, and one time, the first house I ever purchased, I wasn't an agent at the time, but I was thinking about becoming one. So we used an agent, and he didn't get us a home warranty. And so we had a pipe burst inside the wall, and we did not know what to do. And if we had a home warranty, they would have came out there and fixed it, or they would have reimbursed whoever did come out there and fix it.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of my most recent transactions was some good friends of mine, and we got an inspection done. They said, nothing, they point out a few things that were wrong, and we got those addressed. So we thought, and then we go back, everything's working. A month later, AC has something wrong. So they fixed it themselves because unfortunately we weren't able to get a home warranty for this one. And then we got some really other great stuff. We got a new roof. We got a bunch of stuff serviced. We got some off the asking price.
That was a USDA.
It was a USDA.
Hey, and another thing is right now you can use the USDA program because sellers, if their house isn't moving, they're open to all types of financing, and USDA is 0 down. Now, the downside to it is that they're in areas that are a little farther out. And so there is a website that you can go on. Just Google USDA eligibility, and it's probably the first link. And
it's amazing how many listing agents don't know that their listing is within a USDA eligible area.
Yeah, that's important. It's huge because you save your client so much money.
Yeah, it's 0 down. So instead of a conventional or as low as 3% down, or an FHA where you have 3.5% down, you could pay 0 down.
0 down, and the interest rates aren't that bad.
Yeah, and I got these clients got a refund. They got their earnest money back. So they moved into a house for free with USDA. That's how we did it. When you sold me my house, it was USDA, and it was so awesome that, we didn't think that we were in a spot that we could afford a home, and we absolutely could, thanks to USDA.
And you got money back when you closed.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So
who was your agent?
John Michael Perez, November, top producing agent.
Say it again.
John Michael Perez, top producing agent.
I'm just kidding.
We're going off the rails. Cool. My lesson is that you are now your own repairman. I was not a very handy person growing up. My dad, when he would take me to Lowe's, I'd be kicking and screaming. I hated it. I hated everything about the store. It was boring. Now that I'm a homeowner, it's one of my favorite spots. But things will go wrong. You have to change out your filters. You have to make sure your appliances are running well. You don't have a repair person, or maybe you do. I don't know. If you know somebody that you can call, awesome, but I don't. And so you are now responsible for the well-being of your house.
Yeah. Hey, so with 2023 coming up, what are the things that you want to focus on or work on in 2023 to make your business get to the next level?
Well, I mentioned that I had 4.5 times my business year over year. I just need more clients. I think before I can start focusing on things like systems, I need to just build my business. I need a big database. I need to learn my CRM better. I think even though I've had success this year, I'm leaving a lot on the table.
Really?
I think so. I think about like my follow-up game is really good, but how can I get even better? Like your CRM is there for a reason. It's there to remind you of like who you have and haven't talked to in a while. And there's so much you can do with it, like drip campaigns. You can send out mass emails, things like that. I don't do any of that right now.
Yeah.
And I need to. Yeah. Instead, I'm doing harder tasks like writing handwritten notes and things like that, which I'm still going to do. But I need to pair that with other things.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, surprisingly enough, a lot of that stuff that you're talking about that you want to do is very intimidating for newer agents. And so you don't have to be good at, drip campaigns and stuff like that to be a good agent. Because Jordan 4.5 X'd his business and he's not doing that. But just imagine if he did, So, yeah.
What about you? What are you looking for in 2023 that you either didn't do this year or some that you want to try?
I want to put more action in.
This guy.
So I do a lot already, but I always try to figure out how I can do more. And we only have a certain amount of days on this earth, and so I want to make sure that I get all of what I need to do in before I'm gone.
I was listening to that David Goggins podcast with Joe.
Yeah.
And wow, you talk about like a guy that motivates me and makes me feel like my accomplishments like are still so under what I want to achieve.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He was talking about like, I mean, this guy runs
240 miles
and still is like sitting there going, you got to do more.
I know, it's insane.
So if someone like that who has achieved so much in his life is still sitting there going, how can I grow? It just makes sense. Like you can't get comfortable with where your business is at. You never know when that's going to change. So keep pushing. I'm in the same boat as you. I'm sitting here wondering, okay, I see what's working. I'm going to continue doing that. What's next?
Yeah.
You have groups, you have your past clients, you have all this stuff going for you. What's next?
Another thing is I feel like I'm one hire away from scaling, and I don't know who I need to hire.
Like what position?
Yeah, what position? But like Deidre, she's
team assistant, and Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman for sure. She does so much for us, and I feel like if we could find more people like Deidre, we could just 100x our business.
100x, that's a huge number. But we could.
It's possible.
You're right. We could.
I mean, imagine 100 Deidres doing 100 events for 100 agents. You know what I mean? So like literally.
That's big thinking.
I know, but it's possible. And so I do feel like I'm one hire away from scaling.
Yeah. Well, before we get into before we hit 100x, think about your first transaction.
Ooh, that's a good question.
How'd you get it? What was it like? Give us the details.
My first sale or my first lease?
Whatever your first let's say like big transaction.
Yeah, so my first transaction was actually you. I was working, I think I was 5 months in on my career, and I did not get one sale, but I felt like I was putting all my effort in and not getting any results. And then somehow I convinced you to buy a house. I don't know what convinced you.
So John said, let's go meet up for coffee. And just for, he was like, just entertain me, right? Like, let me practice on you. And so we got coffee. And as we were talking, I was like, this could actually be something. Like, who knows? Like, I didn't think I could buy a house, but after talking with John, I think I could.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I was explaining the USDA loan. I remember that. I was explaining the USDA loan, and then I was also explaining closing costs, maybe?
Yeah, we had no intention of buying because like I said earlier, we had just renewed our lease.
Yeah.
And it made so much sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big testament to the newer agents out there, though. If you have been in the business for 5, 6, 7 months, you are one client away from completely changing your entire career. And that one client might be your best friend. And so when I got his done, for some reason, I got the confidence to talk to more people. And then Anthony, if I'm not mistaken, was my second client. He owns a venue here. I don't know if he knows that he was my second client.
If not, that's fantastic. That looks really good on you.
Yeah, yeah. And he was one of the, not to say you weren't an easy client, but we literally walked into the house and he was like, okay, I want it. And I was like, sweet.
Well, transactions go so much smoother when your clients trust the process and trust what you're doing.
Yeah.
If they're not fighting you on like every little step that you're trying to do for them, like, hey, I need you to sign this letter of explanation for this charge. They're like, why?
Yeah.
Like the less pushback on the petty stuff, the easier and smoother the transaction goes. And when you have that rapport like you and I have, like it was just like I know that John's gonna do right by me, and he wouldn't do something. And I didn't know what I was looking at either. Half the time you'd send me a contract, and I'm like,
well, I mean, if I would have told you, hey, a few years from now you're gonna have $200,000 in equity, you would have, like,
yeah, right.
But it was cool because you trusted me, and not to say, never mind. Hey, what was your biggest learning lesson in 2022?
I think we talked about that earlier.
Did we?
Yeah, which was for me, it was like the doers are gonna do, and the pretenders are gonna pretend, and I gotta get myself into a mindset every single day to be a doer.
Okay.
If I wake up, I find that like if I plan my day the day before, and I utilize my calendar, man, my day is so productive. My day is so productive. But if I wake up and I don't have a plan and my calendar's blank, I wait. It's like a wasted day almost.
Yeah, putting stuff in your calendar is so important. And it's just, for some reason, if it's not in your calendar, it's not legit, in my opinion.
Well, we forget about things. It's so easy, like especially with how quick the business changes and you can go from having nothing to something all of a sudden. You don't want to like double book, a showing, or if you have like a wedding that I completely forgot. I almost took a showing when I was going to be out for a wedding, but because I had it in my calendar, I didn't do that. So utilizing tools that help me help myself, right?
Yeah. So what are you excited about right now?
What am I excited about? I'm excited. Our Christmas party. We have our event, the Movers and Shakers class tomorrow morning. I'm super stoked on that.
Y'all will probably not see this podcast before that, but yeah, we're excited about it.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll share some of the tidbits that we talked about in there.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because I would love to talk about like what my actual follow-up game looks like. I've been hyping it up on the podcast, and some people maybe don't have a system, and I want to help cure that. So.
Yeah. But let me ask you a question, and this is something I'm going to be talking about tomorrow at the class. But have you ever had someone in your life, and this is going to be an obvious answer, but have you ever had someone in your life that made you feel special?
Yeah. I have a few of those.
Okay. So how did you feel? What did they do?
Little things, whether it was little surprises or even like a handwritten note. I mean, shoot, man, I felt stoked whenever First Form wrote me a handwritten letter. It's so hard in this day and age where everything's online, everything's electronic, that you feel almost deprived of personal touch and that personal interaction, where text messages are cool, but like, man, when I talk to people on the phone and you can hear like the warmth in their voice, it just changes things.
Yeah. So agents that are listening right now, what if every single client that we work with feels special because they worked with us, right? Like just by writing a handwritten note or just by sending a video call and saying, hey, I was just thinking of you, or just by sending a text message that says, hey, did you know today is a year from when we worked together? Like just little small things compound so huge just because we made them feel special, right? And we work in a relationship business, and the more we build better and genuine relationships with those clients, the better your business will be.
I'm gonna next year do that a lot. Like the video, sending people messages. It takes minimal amounts of time.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel special that someone took the time to make a video to send to me. Like JP does that whenever we're talking in our group chat, he'll send his answer in a video. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, it's not just a words on a screen anymore. It's, I got to see him. I got to see like the way his face like reacts to certain words or whatever. So,
yeah,
in this day and age of everything being online and electronic, some personal touch goes a long way.
Yeah. I mean, think of Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, when you go there, oh, my pleasure. Oh, thank you. They're always smiling. That's why people go back. The chicken sandwiches are good, but the service is usually top notch. And so how do we keep our business as real estate agents in that same manner?
You got to be the Chick-fil-A of real estate.
Yep.
Basically.
Exactly.
Or like the Discount Tire. I don't know if you've ever been to a Discount Tire. Those guys got it locked down.
Yeah.
They got customer service on lock.
Exactly. All right. So it's pretty much our time. Do you have a challenge?
Man, I should have prepared for this, but let's do one off the dome.
Okay.
I would say if you
Okay. This is the challenge. I want you guys to send 10 either past clients or current clients a video message saying, hey, I was thinking of you.
Love that. I'm going to do it.
I'll do it too. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I'm pretty sure you'll get some type of business from it. But besides that, if you like this podcast, please give us a like, give us a share. And actually, most importantly, could you put a positive review on iTunes for us? Because that's going to help us somehow get up in the chain or
the algorithm. The almighty algorithm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Jordan, anything else?
No, just again, if you enjoyed this, if you know an agent who would benefit from hearing this kind of information, just share it with them. Like we're all just trying to help each other win and talk about things that are working for us to try to help you and share the wealth.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll see you.